moving on to our next topic, which is a new game we're bringing into the podcast, and we are doing it around just because we talked about Bear and Goat's Money League. It is called Reach, Fade and Avoid. So what we're going to do is give the Goat or the Bear a specific draft round that they're going for, give them 3 players, and yes, you guessed it, it's like Kiss, Marry and Kill. Which player are you going to take? Which player are you going to fade out, and which one are you going to avoid? These are not going to be easy questions, and I want to hear sort of your reasoning behind it, although we did go through some of these already. I'm excited. So, should we give this one to, I think, the Goat first? Let's go with the Goat. Round 1. Do you take CEH, Alvin Kamara, or Derek Henry?
Which one am I reaching for? I think
it's Reach, Fade and Avoid.
I'd actually reach probably, I feel dirty saying this, CH. Kamara's come out that he's on a plant-based diet and he did an MCL tear last year, which I felt the pain of. So I'd probably fade him and avoid Derrick Henry in PPR leagues. I don't think he'll repeat last year's O-line running success.
That's really interesting because I think it's actually now proven that if athletes kind of go on a plant-based diet, that yes, they can sustain their ability for a year or two, but then after that they start seeing their stats go down. They just can't maintain the physicality they need.
It's vegans. Yeah, have you ever seen like a famous vegan warrior in history? No.
You're going to get so many angry tweets. It's gonna, like the vegan army is coming for you with the
great. You know what I'll do? I'll show them the pork loin I smoked the other day. It was incredible. That's
vegan. Very fair. So that's great. So you'd reach for CH, fade Alvin Kamara, and avoid Derrick Henry, which, as a round 1 pick, I can understand. Right, Bear. Let's go on to a.
Let's go.
What do you want to do? Should we ask you the same question? Do you agree with Tom's analysis there? Or do you have any disagreements?
I would probably. I like to think of this as you are. Well, it doesn't really matter where you're on the round, really. In round 1, I'd probably reach for Alvin Kamara if I was outside of the first 3 picks. Probably fade CEH. We saw him go 105 there. I'd be happier taking him 109 to 202 kind of range. And honestly, I know Derrick Henry is the centre of that Vikings offense, but I just can't see so much
Titans.
Titans, what did I say?
Vikings,
sorry. Titans, yeah, go on. I know he's the centre of that Titans offense, but there's too much risk there for me. All it takes is one little thing, and boom, done.
I like that analysis. I like it. Okay, so and you did allude to the point there. It doesn't matter where you are in the picks. It doesn't matter who you currently have. All that matters is that these are the next 3 players. What's going to be your best value, and what do you think is going to be your worst? So, round 2, you have an option of Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, or Josh Jacobs. Who do you reach, fade, and avoid?
Who's starting?
Bear, you
I
go
wasn't
first this time.
concentrating. Me, cool. Round 2, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs. This is tricky, actually, because I've been, as you can see by my team, I'm a bit of a Kareem Hunt truth, and I think he hurts Nick Chubb. I probably think he hurts Nick Chubb a bit more than other people think he hurts Nick Chubb. And I don't know what it is. I really like Mixon. He annoyed me when I had him in his rookie year, but he was a rookie running back on what's realistically a terrible team. But they've made some improvements to their O-line. I would probably reach a bit higher than I should for Joe Mixon. Number one overall pick coming into your team is going to be a bit of a morale boost for everyone. I would fade Nick Chubb and I would avoid Josh Jacobs. I like Josh Jacobs. He did a lot of work for me, even with only one arm at the end of last year. But I would take Chubb over Jacobs. So unfortunately, Jacobs is just the casualty of this scenario.
So can we just pause the podcast? I'm just going to ring an ambulance. I think I just don't think you've had like a aneurysm or a stroke or something.
Tom, give me your counter view then.
I agree with reaching Mixon. I like that.
Yep.
But I'd fade Josh Jacobs and I'd avoid Nick Chubb. I was a Chubb truther last year.
You were the biggest Chubb truther we know.
Yeah.
Things are
Kareem Hunt came in.
You've got a shirt with Chubb. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
No, I was tempted to buy one because that was the only player my partner knew. She loved Chubb.
That'll be his wedding present.
That's it.
But Josh Jacobs is coming into that Raiders offense, which has had huge improvement. Okay, and he's the only thing there that could actually do anything last year. He was a rookie coming in. Now it's his second season. Nick Chubb has got Kareem Hunt to compete with. He's got Odell Beckham. He's got Jarvis Landry. He's got Austin Hooper, David Njoku. The Raiders don't have anywhere near that talent of receiver core, so they're going to still be playing everything through. And apparently they're talking about being a third down passing back, and Gruden's an old school coach who wants to run it. So I don't know how you can avoid Jacobs and fade Chubb. I'd fade
I'm
Jacobs
going to be
and
really
avoid.
honest with you. I was very lucky that by the time I was allowed to pick my draft pick in our home league and 2 was still open, I jumped at 2 so I didn't have to make these decisions.
And actually being pick 9, this is kind of where I'm sitting. This is where I'm sitting. You wonder why I'm asking you guys some advice on this one. Look, I think Josh Jacobs does just get over Nick Chubb there purely because I think Derek Carr is going to have a massive season this season. I think there's a lot of faith being restored into him, a lot of hype about how he's going to potentially bring the Raiders into a potential playoff team. But I would definitely wait and not hold my breath for that one.
Are we upgrading
Derek, going up?
Are we upgrading Derek Carr from beige to cream then for this season?
Magnolia.
You go from beige to
That's
Magnolia.
so
That is
perfect.
so
Magnolia.
British as well, I think.
So, okay.
By the way, hold on. If you're American and listening to this, and Magnolia is also a colour there that people use to paint really boring rooms, let me know because I'm curious.
Every single room in my house is Magnolia.
Yeah, I know your house is so boring.
It's not. Okay. It's the revamped Derek Carr house. I think he could live here, and you wouldn't see him against the wall. If he was naked, you wouldn't know he was here.
Moving on to the next question for you. I don't know how easy this is going to be. So, Tom, we'll start with you. You're drafting in round 3. You got Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, or Allen Robinson.
All right, reach Golladay, fade Evans, avoid Robinson.
Interesting.
Now, easy one for me. Kenny Golladay is the only viable target in Detroit. You might argue Marvin Jones is there. The running game, they've got Kerryon Johnson or DeAndre Swift. Let's face it, they're going to be behind a lot, so they're going to have to throw it like they did last year. Kenny Golladay exploded last year. I think he's only going to follow that up. He's a beast with his arm span. I really like Mike Evans, but he's got too much competition in Tampa. I think that's where the only reason he's for. It's not his talent or ability at all. It's just the amount of competition. And then Allen Robinson, if it's Trubisky or Foles, we don't know. We have no idea what the Bears are actually going to be like this year in offense because we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. And will Foles be the Philly special cheating sods of the Super Bowl? That's led to a statue. Or will he be the guy who ended up getting traded and losing his job to a guy in jorts?
So, Bear, I want to hear your thoughts. Are you just straight agreement there with Tom? Because I actually really like your point. I like Tom's point there about Mike Evans and the fact that there's so much competition in the market there for targets. You got Gronk coming in, Chris Godwin, let alone actually their improved running game. So
you see, my big question there though is, I can see how Gronk would take targets away from Godwin. Godwin lines up in the slot about 50% of the time. Mike Evans lines up there, I think, just under 20% of the time. Now, the question for me with Mike Evans in Tampa is, does Brady still have the arm? You look at what he did in the game he had last year when Antonio Brown hadn't been kicked out of the NFL for the 4th time last year. He had a great game.
Brady's rest of the season, he was worn out.
Because he didn't have AB still to throw to.
No, it's because his arm was worn out.
Oh,
his arm was broken.
God, you're the worst Patriots fan. The moment Tom Brady leaves, you are bitter as hell about it all.
Who? Sorry, who?
Exactly. That's why he's on my jersey now, not yours. Allen Robinson also is the centerpiece, realistically, of the Bears' offense. So even if they're pretty rubbish, he's going to have a lot of work to go around. I mean, can you tell me who else is realistically going to be the centerpiece of that passing game?
Allegedly, Anthony Miller is looking quite good, but that'll
potentially.
be it. And Montgomery's going to take some more passing.
And potentially, Kenny Golladay, as we saw last year, can have a lot of very up and down weeks because of his competition with Marvin Jones.
At the end of the season, but Marvin Jones was injured, remember, at the end. He's still not fully healthy.
So this is, Matt, put that question back. This is incredibly close for me, but I think I would probably reach for Evans, fade Golladay and avoid Robinson. It's too much risk.
Okay. No, I mean they're both actually respectable choices there, so I will take it. Right, we got 3 more of these. Let's fire through them. So this one, I think, Rich, you've kind of answered already, so I'm going to go straight to Tom on this one. Round 5, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, or Tyler Lockett. Now, that just happenstance the fact that, Rich, you had all these options available in round 5, and you went Woods over Kupp, and you didn't even see Lockett. So I think we know your options there. Yep. Tom, do you agree? Are you with him, or do you believe Kupp?
I'd go Cooper Kupp. I think he's more explosive. He's the wide receiver 1 in LA. Woods had a great finish to the season, but the start of the season, I remember some games he got me 3 points, and he only scored 2 touchdowns last year, so he wasn't getting the red zone looks.
That means you're getting touchdown regression. He finished pretty high in the wide receivers though last year.
Yeah, I know, without touchdowns, but I mean he doesn't get touchdown looks. And the LA Rams O-line's got worse. Okay, they've lost a superstar running back in Gurley. And I think Kupp and Goff love it. I'd have to reach Kupp. If he was available in round 5, yes, every day of the week. That's just heaven. And I can see where you're coming from. It's a sliver, but it's a decent sliver of fat between him and Woods, which I'd fade, and then Lockett I'd avoid, because I think DK Metcalf is just an absolute beast and he's going to progress.
Yeah, swap Woods and Kupp, and I absolutely agree with you. LA, one of the most passing teams in the league. They love to pass, so it makes sense to go between those two. And I agree, it's a toss-up. Because I picked Woods, Kupp will go off. And yeah, I agree with you. I love DK, so I'd rather take DK in later rounds than take Lockett in early rounds.
There you go. I like that. Good analysis there. So this next one, the next 2, in fact, are kind of more towards the speciality teams. Tight end. So you're in round 7. The top 4 tight ends have gone, and you think it's not going to make it back to your snake. Now you have Evan Ingram, Gronk, or Tyler Higbee. Who do you reach, fade, and avoid? Yeah, go for it, Rich.
You obviously reach for Gronk. Now, I'm a Bucks fan.
After a year off.
It's after a year off,
Brady,
but you see it all over Twitter. You see it all over Instagram. We saw it for years in Foxborough. There is no denying that if Brady is in a pinch, he's going to look at Gronk. You know, they don't bring someone in and spend cap on someone who's going to be there for a
round pick.
Exactly, and a 4th round pick, whatever it is, as well, just to sell some jerseys, do they? BA's not like that. He's there. He's trying to win a Super Bowl because he is one of the great coaches of NFL history, and all he's really missing is a commanding Super Bowl run. And I think that'd be great for him with Gronk. I would fade Ingram. I think Ingram's a perfectly good tight end, but I also think at some point during the season it's inevitable he's going to miss 4 games through injury, which I know is also a risk with Gronk, but he's had a year off, so he should be fresh. And I'm going to avoid Tyler Higbee because that whole Higbee-Everett thing, I don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with the Bear. I think Gronk, absolute legend. He would have stayed legendary status. He would have been a guaranteed Hall of Famer first round, except he's come out of retirement just like the rest of those in Tampa that are all either retirement or out of retirement or retirement age. That is just Tampa. I've been there. I've seen the people who live there.
Yeah, we have.
And Evan Ingram, is a sick note, fantastic potential and talent. And when he's healthy and going, you'll get 5 or 6 really good games out of him. But that's not going to win you a championship. It's going to either get you to the playoffs or stop you fighting for the spoon. And Tyler Higbee, I was looking at Tyler Higbee. In some leagues I've got him. I'm hoping he wins to Gerald Everett. It's a toss-up. And when I took him in the 9th or the 10th, it wasn't round 7. So, I'd have to avoid him to continue that.
Avoid him there. No, it's fine. And it's a tough... avoid is such a harsh word. I mean, you just wouldn't pick him in round 7. That's absolutely...
Yeah, you're avoiding him in round 7. That's all we're saying.
Exactly. So, our last one of the game. Round 12... 49ers have gone as a defense, and you're panicking because the snakes, let's say you're pick 9 and it's come to you and you don't think it's going to come back 18 picks later or whatever it is. So you got Ravens, Pittsburgh, or Bills. Now, Rich, you had an off day and you chose Pittsburgh. Is that kind of your your choice, or do you think Bills are better?
I really don't know. You know what? I've made a commitment to myself that I'm going to brush up a bit more on my positional rankings before our home league draft in, was it 2.5 weeks now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Where did this sneak up on us from?
I'm going to do some more brushing up on defenses. At this point in time, I'd probably avoid the Bills. Just because I think there's a potential you're going to end up with shootout games, which is why I've taken, say, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs in the money league. And shootout games are a real pain in the rear end, let's say, if you're trying to draft a defense. And then Ravens, Pittsburgh, no one's going to laugh at you for taking either one of those. I mean, if you can wait till round 13 to take them, you're golden. No one's going to bat an eyelid. Reach or fade whichever one you want. I don't care.
Pretty even then.
Yeah, I'd probably, if I had to, I'd probably say Pittsburgh. I fancy their defense kept them in games last year. If you look how many tight games they had last year, considering they're the quarterback who got himself hit by his own helmet, that's how bad he was.
That's not what happened.
He was hit with his own helmet, correct?
He got
himself hit with his own helmet.
Yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett ripped that helmet off his head and started beating the life out of him with it, but sure.
He deserves it. Mason Rudolph is just appalling quarterback and had no offense, and the defense kept them in it and almost helped them win games. So I'd probably go, they've got Big Ben back. Hopefully Juju gets his Juju back and James Conner comes back. So the Pittsburgh defense should be on the field less. While the Ravens, I think people will figure out Lamar and they'll be put under more pressure. So I'd actually reach Pittsburgh. It's hard saying fade, but it's just reach a bit higher to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I'd avoid the Bills just because they're AFE scum.
Wow. Okay. Do you know what? Let's with that. Anyway, let us know your comments and views on what the Bear and the Goat have picked. Are there any that you would disagree with? Have any different ideas? Let us know, and I'm sure the guys will throw out some Twitter handles at the end of the podcast.